Okay, so we have started coming up with some of the structure of the document using H1 as the main heading, and then H2 as the smaller headings for subsections. We're now going to start identifying different sections that we want to focus on. Right? There's a kind of like a left-hand side and a right-hand side that we want to break the content into. For instance, on the left-hand side, we want to make a list of modules, and the right-hand side, it's kind of like they're actually lists, right? This list happens to render vertically, right, from top to bottom, and the lessons and the topics also seem to be lists, yes, but they render horizontally, right? So it'd be a good way of modeling these are just plain all lists, right? So let's create a couple of lists for all of these folks, okay? Right. So let's under the module, let's create a list. So this is let's create a list here, and this is module 1, right? And we have a couple modules. We have module 1, 2, and 3, right? So the way this renders is just as a list: module 1, module 2, and module 3, right? So in HTML, you can create lists of content by using the tag UL, right? UL allows you to create what UL stands for unordered lists, right? And then under there, you can then specify all the line items for each one of the items under the list. Make sense? There's also OL, right? That allows you to specify an ordered list, right? So for that one renders 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, I, 2 I's, 3 I's using Roman numerals. You can specify how you want to render them, right? But they're ordered as opposed to unordered. So I'm going to stick to unordered lists for module 1, module 2, and module 3. For the lessons, I'm also going to use UL and LI for lesson 1, and a couple lessons under there, lesson 1, 2, and 3. Right, and so that renders like that, lesson 1, 2, and 3, and under there, I might want to have the topics, right? So the topics are kind of under the lesson, yes. The topics are under the lesson, so this might be maybe an H3 for the topics, since this is kind of like a subset of the lesson, right? It's like a subsection of the lesson, so we'll call that the topics, and under there we might display also some topics under here. So line item, topic 1, 2, and 3. There we go, right? So we have the module list, we have the lessons, and the topics. And then depending on which topic you select, you would have different forms, right? We'll deal with forms a little later, right? But it looks like we have the overall layout, right, or the structure of the document we want to work on, right? Everything else, hopefully, most everything else will be just styling this, right? Making it look so that it doesn't look as ugly, right? It looks a little more presentable, right? So that the left-hand side looks like nice list, and the lessons look like tabs, and the topics look like bullets and whatnot, or pills, all right? We'll probably have to tweak a couple of things here and there, right, so that our styling looks right. But let's spend some time talking how is it that we go about styling this to make it look, the way we want it to look like. All right. So, but the layout of the content is mostly there, right? Well, again, we'll have to revisit, do a couple things here and there, but mostly the content is that, and that's what HTML is. It's a role. HTML's role is to mostly give the structure of the document, okay, lay out the content of the document, and then the role of style sheets of CSS, right? It will be to come back and tell HTML how, which font that you use, which background color, foreground color. If things instead of laying them out vertically, I want to lay them out horizontally, right? All that can be done with CSS. It is not HTML's responsibility for doing that, right? It is CSS responsibility for doing that, and CSS is an entirely different language, right? Which we'll be presenting now.